I remember when I was a little boy, and this is not, it is so true, it just blows my mind. And we got our first black and white TV, and I used to see white people on the 4th of July waving flags and being all happy about America. And I'm like, wow, I want to do that. I really said it as a kid. And because on the 4th of July in Alabama, we go and hang out, but we just play drums and dance and play ball and not really wave no flag. You never see a flag. And I wanted to do that because it looked like white people really appreciated America. And so now that I'm doing that on the 4th of July, I'm like, oh, wow, there's nothing better than this. No ribs, no sweet potato pie or what's that, macaroni and cheese. Nothing is better than fighting for your country on the 4th of July, Independence Day, right? On the 4th of July, evil came out like never before. You know this guy, Chris Rock? You ever heard of him? Yeah. On the 4th of July, Chris Rock tweeted, "Happy White People Independence Day. The slaves weren't free, but I'm sure they enjoyed fireworks. Happy White People Independence Day." Uh-huh. What do you say about that, Cat? You're white.
No, I'm half black. It's sad. It's sad that he has that kind of hatred and doesn't appreciate America and what it stands for. Very
good point. I wonder right away, this man has made his career all white people. White people support him. They go to his little shows and buy his little CDs and support him. And now that he's doing that, he's doing very well. How do you all of a sudden, how do you hide that kind of hatred in your heart until you get what you want and then just turn like that? And then have no shame about it at all. That is wickedness to the core. It's like America made him, caused him to have a good life, and now he's going to kick America in the butt. Isn't that like mind-blowing? Or is it just me? Yes, Ken.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, two comments. One, I almost feel like if I had those feelings that he has, I wouldn't share them public. If I really felt that way, I still wouldn't share them. I just have some common sense about
That's
that.
Right. I would somehow or another find some kind of appreciation, just get rid of that hatred. Especially when you look at your life and see what this country has afforded you.
And it makes it hard, too, to like him as a comic because, you want to root for... He is funny, but when he comes out with stuff like that, it makes it real hard.
On the 4th of July, we're all free, and his thing is Happy White People Independence Day. The slaves weren't free, but I'm sure they enjoyed fireworks. That's evil. That is absolute evil. Yes, ma'am.
I heard about that, his comment, and my first reaction was I was disappointed because I like Chris Rock.
Yes.
But then I really wasn't surprised because if you watched a couple of his shows, he's made a career out of appealing to the anger and
Yes.
the whole black against white.
Yeah.
So to me, he was just marketing himself. And then I also, it triggered, I thought about George Lopez. Because he's made a career out of the whole, Hispanic thing.
Yeah.
But then I thought about, well, I don't think he's made a career out of the anger of Hispanics. He just kind of makes fun of what they do.
Yes.
Versus Chris Rock, all of his stuff is just very... He's
angry.
Always, an angry person.
Very good point. You can make jokes. I make jokes about myself and others all the time, but I'm not angry. I love my country. I fight for my country. And... I want people to be free, and I know anger is not the way to do it. How do you turn on your country? Yes, ma'am. Right here.
She said what I was going to say.
Oh, she did? Yeah. Were you surprised by it?
No, he does it all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm starting not to be surprised because I don't care how educated blacks are or anything else. They always have that same anger. And he must get that... somebody must be saying, okay, that's all right to say that,
Yes.
or he wouldn't say it. And the liberal
Very good
media
point.
actually helps him with that. Otherwise, he would not be able to say that.
I recommend do what you want, but if you're walking by what is right, when you see this stuff, when these people reveal themselves, stop supporting them. I want to support because you're supporting evil. There is good and there is evil. And we got to make up our mind which one is more important to us, our minds as to which one is more important to us. Are we going to be of good, but yet try to hold on to evil too because it feels good to the ego? Or are we going to let it go? If these people start to change, if we shine the light on it and don't support evil when we see it, and never mind who it is, never mind the color of the person, we got to stop. We can stop this stuff from happening because greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world. But if we just continue to support them with our finance and just laugh about it and go on like it's nothing, it's empowering evil to do it even more so. You're right. Somebody is saying to him, that's fine. You can say that. We're still going to get you out there. People are still going to come. We're going to give you TV specials and everything. And the Christians will sit there and look at the shows and laugh. If I were white on the outside as I am on the inside, I wouldn't support any of them when they came out like that, when that happened. I just wouldn't do it. I don't need it. But white people are going, they'll still do it. Yes. Hold on a minute.
You know, I read a response to Chris Rock on the internet. I'd like to give a quick synopsis of it. What black people forget because they've been so brainwashed about white people, and yes, white people did have slaves at the independence, so blacks were. It wasn't 100% white people were all for slavery. The North was against it, the South was for it. So that's northern white people were against it, the southern white people were for it.
They know that already.
I know, but
they don't care.
They forget that. Conveniently forget that issue all the time.
Right. And the reason for it, because, as somebody mentioned, it's the anger that's there. Mm-hmm. When you're angry, history doesn't matter because Satan caused you to put in what he wants you to have there.
And he also said that the injustice toward the Republicans, you know, how blacks view Republicans as racist and stuff, all the civil rights legislation was passed by Republicans, and white people passed, you know, civil rights legislation. It couldn't have been black. They weren't in the majority.
They don't care about that either.
What changed black people to Democrats is when Roosevelt, it started with Roosevelt, gave started this welfare toward black people, and then they got
know
them
about
the Democratic
that.
Party.
They don't care about that.
Yeah, no, they don't.
know. When you're angry, you got to blame somebody else for your anger. You can't really see. That's why God said that our battle is a spiritual battle between good and evil, and you got to call it that. You got to call it what it is, because if you just throw stats out to them and a little history, it's not going to change their hearts. And that's what needs to happen. White Americans' heart needs to change so they can get over this fear, and black Americans need to stop hating. That's what's going on. They know about the history. Everybody's talking about it now. But it's the spirit. It's a spiritual thing. But you're right about what you're saying. But that's not going to help. And many of them are not going to believe that either. They think that that's made up. It's not going to change. And I've been there, done that. I understand it until the heart change. Here's what I tweeted after Chris Rock said that about the white people. Happy White People Independence Day. The slaves weren't free, but I'm sure they enjoyed the fireworks. I said, you know, Chris Rock played in an animated movie. Chris Rock played the zebra in that movie, and he acted like a jackass on this one. And the people got mad. Oh, you're going too far now, Jesse. You're going too far. But he did. He acted like a jackass. But I don't want nobody going against my country.
For more information or to purchase a copy of this show, visit us on the web at www.bondinfo.org or call 1-800-411-BOND.